Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. Erin Blanchfield versus Taila Santos at UFC Fight Night 225 in Singapore is going down on this Saturday, and in my opinion, this is one of the more intriguing non-title fights in the history of the women's fighting divisions. So in today's video, we are going to get into this very close matchup, and in my opinion, why Erin Blanchfield will win this fight. So Erin Blanchfield is going into this fight as one of the better prospects in the history of women's MMA. She's currently 11-1, and she's 5-1 in the UFC, and that only loss, of course, comes pre-UFC, and that loss was on the regional scene to Tracy Cortez, who's actually a very good fighter in her own right, and that was a fight that was very controversial, and she lost via a split decision, so she's damn near undefeated at this point in her career. She just recently absolutely ran through and destroyed Jessica Andrade in the second round via rear naked choke. Now that fight was very close on the feet, as I will get into in this video, so she certainly did not destroy her on the feet, but she certainly did in the grappling department. And then Molly McCann, she absolutely ran through Molly McCann in the first round and submitted her via Kimura, and she currently is on a 3 submission win streak. And you could very well make the argument that Taila Santos is a top 3 125er in the women's division on planet Earth. She's currently 4-2 in the UFC, and her last fight was a loss against Valentina Shevchenko, but this was a very controversial fight. She consistently got Valentina Shevchenko in dominant grappling positions on the ground. I think if Santos faced Valentina Shevchenko again, she would really focus on damaging Valentina Shevchenko instead of trying to advance position for a submission. Really, her main mistake in this fight was not going for ground and pound, while Valentina Shevchenko off of her back was consistently getting ground and pound shots, which is why after the fight, Taila Santos seemed like the more damaged fighter in there, despite controlling Valentina for almost 9 minutes. Before her title fight, though, she beat Joanne Wood via a very impressive first-round rear naked choke, and then before that, she took Roxanne Modafferi, Jillian Robertson, and Molly McCann to decisions. So looking at Santos from a grappling perspective, she's definitely an excellent grappler. She actually has very good takedowns, and she has very good takedown entries. Not only can she shoot a traditional single or a double leg from out in the open, she really likes those trips, and she does like those judo throws, and she really does like getting her opponent up against the cage in the clinch, and then she chains together really nice trips from the clinch from there. And then once she gets into top position on the ground, she's absolutely relentless with her transitions. Now, I think this can get her in trouble versus Erin Blanchfield, as the more aggressive you are with your transitions, then the more open you are to reversals on the ground. But nonetheless, she does a really good job getting to side control. She does a really good job getting to side saddle and even crucifix sometimes in her fights. And again, she does a very good job at back taking. She's a very good backpack in that sense. And from there, in my opinion, her ground and pound is really to be desired. She really does not have good ground and pound, despite being a very powerful fighter on the ground and on the feet. But she does have very good submissions, and she does have somewhat of a wide array of submissions to go to. But in my opinion, Erin Blanchfield's BJJ is simply too good to be submitted in this fight. Erin Blanchfield is the best BJJ practitioner in the entire women's divisions. Not only was she a black belt from a very young age, but she's actually the youngest Eddie Bravo Invitational winner in the history of women's combat grappling. So even if Santos is able to get Blanchfield down, which I wouldn't necessarily be surprised, in my opinion, she wouldn't be able to hold a significant amount of control time. She wouldn't be damaging her with good ground and pound shots, and she would not be able to get off of a submission. So Taila Santos in her path to victory really is not in the grappling department, even though that will be her game plan going into it. She simply is not going to be able to control Blanchfield enough in order to get a submission down in there. And Santos really has not shown all that good counter grappling in her career. She really has not faced anybody except Barella in terms of fighters who are going to try to grapple with her. And in that Barella fight, she's actually lost against Barella because Barella consistently got takedowns and got to dominant positions. And once Santos was off of her back, she really did did struggle to get to a better position in order to get back to her feet. And Erin Blanchfield is simply a more dominant, more powerful grappler than Santos is. And the prime example of this is that Molly McCann fight. Even though Santos looked really good against Molly McCann, she did take her to a decision. She was not able to get a significant amount of submission attempts against her, whereas Blanchfield just absolutely ragdolled Molly McCann in the grappling department, got her into side saddle so easily, where she rained down these insane elbows and then quickly got a Kimura. Again, against Jillian Robertson as well for Santos. Jillian Robertson is a very good grappler, but she's been consistently out-grappled by more powerful grapplers in the division, and Santos was not be able to finish her. And then Roxanne Modafferi, again, she has very good BJJ, but she's not dangerous at all, and she's somewhat weak in there, and the fact that Santos was not able to get her out of there in 3 rounds is not all that impressive. So if the grappling somewhat cancels each other out, which I do expect to happen, this fight will be a striking match on the feet, and this is where I do really favor Blanchfield. Even though I do think Santos has more pop in her shots, it's not a safe bet, especially in women's MMA, to bet on somebody to win just because of punching power. So when we break down the technique and technical advantages I see for Erin Blanchfield, when you watch Erin Blanchfield fight and you watch her on the feet, it seems as though she's very comfortable and content with staying on the feet for a couple of minutes before she implements her grappling, whereas Santos does not seem all that comfortable on the feet. Even though she necessarily doesn't look bad on the feet, it seems as though in the back of her mind, every second she's standing up, she wants to get to the grappling exchanges. Everything she does is in the mindset and in the perspective of, oh, I'm going to shoot a takedown very quickly. Whereas again, Erin Blanchfield will actually try to set up things on the feet. Both are pretty orthodox, but Santos has more of that karate blitzing in style where she'll throw a bunch of combinations together. Both girls really do leave their chin wide open on a silver platter, so I can see both of them tagging each other repeatedly on the chin. But again, Santos is not that range fighting fighter. She's not going to really throw out a bunch of leg kicks and throw out a bunch of jabs. She's really going to blitz in with a aggressive, hard combination of a bunch of jabs and a bunch of straights, whereas Erin Blanchfield will stick on the back foot. She'll throw out a couple leg kicks. She'll throw out some more technical combinations, such as a jab straight hook to the body, whereas again, Santos and her combinations aren't all that technical with all that much thought process behind them. Overall, I just see Erin Blanchfield in her patience on the feet and her range-finding strikes, such as that really nice lead leg kick, to be the difference in this fight. She's going to be much more comfortable on the feet than Santos is. So when Santos does blitz in with those shots, I think Blanchfield will be content with slipping them, staying on the outside, being patient, and then counter-striking with Santos. My official prediction for this fight, I think every round is going to be extremely close, so I think some of the judging scorecards are going to look a bit different in this fight. Overall, I do find it to be a 30-27 unanimous victory for Erin Blanchfield. I just think there will be some 29-28s in there. Overall, Erin Blanchfield is slightly better in the grappling department than Santos, and she's slightly more patient and technical on the feet than Santos. Thanks for listening, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, do you agree with my take that Erin Blanchfield is slightly better than Taila Santos? In the comment section below, let me know what your prediction for this fight is. If you enjoyed today's video, I really appreciate it. Smack that like and hit subscribe.